Hello, everybody. I am Caitlin McDonald with the Social Speak Network, and I am so excited. Today, we are going to be interviewing Deonnah Carolus of Summit Web Marketing. Now, Deonnah used to actually be one of our interns and turned into really one of the contractors that we worked with for about 3 years. She has since grown into owning her own business as a mompreneur, and she works doing social media, digital marketing, pay-per-click advertising, and website development here in the Broomfield, Colorado area. Now, Deonnah is sharing with us some wonderful tips and insights about what it's been like to start a business as a mom and how she's been able to juggle the different priorities that she has with work and life. It's something that all of us have to struggle with and do struggle with as we are starting our business and as we are succeeding in growing our business. So here, let's jump on over to the interview with Deonnah. All right, so Deonnah, thank you again for joining us today. We'd love to hear and start out first with what you're up to and tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, my name is Deonnah Carolus, and I own Summit Web Marketing, and I do social media for business owners as well as website development and SEO services. So a lot of it's remote, which I like.
Great. And how did you get started?
It's actually a funny story. So I was working for Boundless Internet Solutions with you and Amber, and I was still in school at the time, so I went to school kind of later, and I was a marketing student, and I just really, the direction that I got into school changed. You know, the reason why I got into school changed while I was in school, and the niche I was going into also changed. So there was no point of entry because it was just a saturated industry. So I started to do some coding. I took some internships, and I found out that I could code. And from there, I just wanted to do everything online, whether it was coding, white papers, or marketing or whatever. So I took internship after internship, and which led me to working with you guys as a freelancer,
Yes.
Which I was in such denial about at first. I was like, I'm not a freelancer. I have a job.
Yeah.
You know, so it was
Well,
a new
isn't
thing.
that funny? It's taken me 7 years to say, yes, my business is actually a freelancing business.
Right.
You know?
It's just so different, it's just
Yeah.
a different mindset and a different shift in how you make money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and after some time of learning the ropes of digital marketing and really working with, your clients and figuring out how everything worked, and then doing some of my own research on the side and combining my coding degree with my marketing degree, I had this idea because I really wanted to do more website development and help people with their branding and have clients of my own. So I started down that path, and I just, started networking and started talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
First going through my own contact list of people I know, like family members and friends and that kind of thing.
So were, your personal contacts, were those your first clients?
A couple of them, yeah. Or some of those contacts knew someone that could benefit. And I mean, I took, jobs where I got paid experience so that I could really dive in and get my feet wet and prove myself to myself,
Right.
First of all, to build this sort of like a reputation, a little bit, and have some experience to show other people.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, and I'm going to dive into this. I hope it's not awkward, but tell me a little bit about, proving to yourself that you were good at it. Do you feel as though you gained more skills, or it was really just a personal perception that you had to show other people that you had done this successfully for other people because you had successfully managed, 50 accounts for our business?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a difference there. Can you talk us through that difference internally of working for somebody else and doing the marketing for their business versus going out on your own?
Yeah, it's a lot more involved, and just like developing my skill set further on my own, just, for my own sake, was top priority. It still is. I don't think it ever ends.
No, it doesn't.
Right. And this industry changes so much that if you don't know what's happening, you're not going to be able to provide a valuable service for clients.
Yes.
Excuse me, for clients. So the learning never stops. And yes, it was to prove to not only myself, and that, I had my son, and I wanted something more. And, and I just wanted that, ability to have my own business and to lead my own business. And I wasn't sure if I could, but over time, as you start getting clients and you develop your confidence and your skill set, it becomes easier and just smoother.
Yeah. So your first clients were people, kind of spread out from your personal network. Where do you get clients now? Who do you find your clients are?
Network a lot.
Okay, so mostly
group.
Those personal relationships.
Yes, and it's really, people will do business with you if they know you, like you, and trust you. And the only way you're going to do that is to get out in front of people. You're not going to build a network behind a computer, no matter how much you think, just because we're digital marketers doesn't mean we wave our digital marketing stick and get clients. It's not that easy. You might think it is, but it's still about meeting people and building relationships.
Yes. And have you found that the language you use as you're talking to people has that transformed over the past few years? Have you found that that networking has really helped you refine your messaging more?
Yeah, especially the longer I do it, because you find different ways to convey the message of what you do. You can make it really simple or really complex. And if you're going to make it complex, people's eyes are just going to
Yep. I actually was just writing an article about that, how when I got into digital marketing, I was describing, data driving marketing decisions and using this tool and that tool and finding this and that, blah, blah, blah. It gets me off. It doesn't get the other people. Yeah, I know. And quickly it turned into other people describing for me, you do social media. And it was like, oh, okay, I do social media.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, I'm the same way, because I just live, eat, and breathe. I mean, I have dreams about it. And I'm just like, whoa, this weird dream. I'm talking to a client about something. This is getting out of control.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, I know Nils now is in preschool. Tell me about how you were able to manage your time, taking care of him and having him at home, as you were starting out and kind of creating those processes and systems.
That's a hard one, because I have, Nils' dad, I have my partner, and, we have been able to switch roles. When I needed him to watch Nils, he would take care of him so I could get some work done. Yeah. We put Nils in a preschool when he was almost 2. So that really, really helped. It was hard because I felt like he was still young, but he needed to be with kids, and I needed my sanity back and my hormones to chill out. Because when your kid is always around you, it gnaws on your nervous system in ways that you just can't even put a block on that, Yes. So you're constantly on alert and constantly being torn in 2 different directions. And even now, when I prioritize my work, Nils will always come first, but I feel like it's such a trade-off. To build my business takes so much of my time that I feel bad, because being a mom is top priority, but also takes time. And the older they get, they want to interact and engage. And it's I will always have some sort of guilt, probably, or beat myself up forever until I spend money. Okay. Well, I know I did my job right.
Yep. And are your clients mostly, aware that you do have a family and they're willing to, change schedules or understand that your priority might not be them all the time?
Yeah. And luckily I'm kind of to a place where in my business where those client needs aren't as, controlling to me. Yes. I have an assistant and stuff like that, but I remember something that you said about how you and Amber work and you do emails differently. Like Amber, she's like on it at any time she gets an email, she's like and responds.
Yeah.
And you like, 2-3 days. I will totally. You're like, I will respond unless it's super, super, super urgent. I'm going to take, a couple days to maybe respond, just depending on what the situation is.
Yes.
And that really stuck with me because I was like, if this isn't something that needs to be taken care of in the next 5 minutes, I'm not just going to because then I'm 50 different directions every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already doing 50 different things an hour.
Yes. So something to look into, it's called, the technical name is batching your time. And so I've started batching my time a lot more where maybe it's not a couple of days before I respond. Sometimes,
no, yeah.
But and it drives Amber insane. But if I'm working on a website, for example, and I need full concentration on that website,
yeah,
like right now, my phone is on nighttime mode. I turn off all notifications so I can just focus right on, the website project for however long, 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it is. And then, you can spend the time quickly answering emails or something. But they say every time that you switch between tasks, it can take up to 7 minutes to get back on track with where you are. And so I'm glad that you don't feel as though you have to answer your email all the time. It's good to, just be focused on that one thing.
I mean, you responded quickly. It was just like not in the first 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? This was years ago anyway. Things were probably structured differently. But I tend to check my email now maybe 2 or 3 times a day at certain intervals instead of just like, I'm going to get through all these emails right now. Oh, I just got an email. I'm going to go and check it, because I'm going to have to focus because more errors are made in my process when I am scattered, whether it's spelling
Yes.
or trying to get back into my task.
Yep, absolutely. So now that we're kind of onto it, what other tools and tricks do you have that you can share with, new mompreneurs out there? And ways that you've been able to, really streamline your processes and get your business to where it is now?
Sure. Not feeling like you have to do everything and really outlining, tasks that when you sit down, you think, how can I never have to look at this again? And is it something that I can have somebody else do for me? Is it a teachable thing? It depends on the client too. Like if I have a really expensive client or someone who's paying more, I will generally oversee those tasks and give my assistant a lesser expensive client to kind of as far as like time, I have to keep time with my website, so I use Toggle for free.
Yes,
those
Toggle,
are and they're great tools. And then if you wanted to get into other social media tools, we could do that too. I don't know how far you want to go down this rabbit hole.
Let's just stay on that business processes right now. And then what about, just keeping track of all the different tasks that you have and responsibilities that you have within the client packages? Are you using Trello or Asana or any of those?
I tried Trello, but I feel like my own bandwidth to keep up with technology to organize myself is also cumbersome. It's just overload sometime, So I was using this app in Google Sheets or the Google Admin. I forget what it's called, but it helps you just compartmentalize each client, and then you can list your task for the day. And as you do them, you just check them off. Starts with an O. I forget what it's called, but I was using it for a while. Now I only have marketing clients and the rest are web clients, so I don't have to use too many tools right now.
Right. That's great. And then let's see, what are, do you have any words of advice or insights for people as they're just getting started and they're trying to figure out, if freelancing is for them, really taking that first step into business ownership?
Yeah, I think, just start with your first client and just work that account as best as you can, because even just working one account will teach you so many things, all the layers of stuff that you have to do, especially if you're in the digital marketing space, which it seems like a lot of people want to get into now. So depending on like if you're doing reviews for a client, you know, you're going to have to learn all the review platforms out there and really dive into that and figure out the best strategy for your client to boost their presence in that way. Or if you're just managing their online assets like Facebook, you know, diving in, there's like entire lessons on just that would take a person a year to get through, you know.
Yep.
If they really wanted to waste a year. But so I guess just taking it like slow, but also really diving in and just getting your feet wet and really chewing on the client, you know, and getting that experience. That would be my only advice, because even now I had a ton, and then when you have a period where you have not very many anymore, you really get back into focus on what's going on in their accounts and really getting reorganized. And sometimes you find you restructure things or you miss something that you want to add. So just really paying close attention to being valuable, I guess, another one.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's great advice. Anything else that you want to share before we sign off?
No, just thanks for even considering having me on, and it was so good talking with you.
Of course. Yes. Thank you so much, Deonnah, for your time. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck and success with your marketing agency as you move forward.
Thank you.